presentation on neurodiversity in the workplace at Stanford. I am a psychiatrist by training. The main thing uh, that I do is about autism for a number of years, and the last few years we are really excited about the opportunity on helping individuals on the spectrum and other neurodevelopmental differences in terms of shaping their future. And a lot of uh, the identity that they develop is really about what they do. So it's a very important part of helping them. So today I will talk about what neurodiversity is and our strength-based model of neurodiversity and how we practice this model in the Stanford Neurodiversity Project, and then finally how we can work together to maximize the potential of neurodiversity. So first, what is neurodiversity? We define neurodiversity as a concept that regards individuals with differences in brain function and behavioral traits as part of the normal variation in the human population. When we talk about neurodiverse conditions, we often refer to people that have autism, ADHD or attention deficit hyperactivity disorder or dyslexia. There can be other differences too, such as Tourette's syndrome or people that have epilepsy and so forth. How common are neurodiverse conditions? Autism is just about 1.9% actually. I need to update the slide. So basically what in a couple of classrooms you would expect a child on the spectrum to be on the autism spectrum. Dyslexia is much higher, about 13 to 14%, and ADHD is somewhere in between, 5 to 7%. Nonetheless, you probably know someone who has a neurodiverse conditions, or you know someone that's affected significantly by symptoms that are related to it. So a lot of the time when we are thinking about abilities, we think about the bell-shaped curve. So any trait, we can describe the distribution by having like people that are average in the green. So 68% of them are in the middle part of the bell-shaped curve. And there are some people that are above average and some people that are below average. When we look at IQ, for example, 100 is the average, and between 85 and 115 would be considered as the average range. When someone has 130 IQ, 2 standard deviation above the mean, they are considered as pretty smart, and 145 or above would be genius level. People on the other side of the spectrum, when they have IQ of lower than 70, they're considered as having intellectual disability. But this is only one way of measuring abilities. There are many other things that the IQ tests are not measuring. And basically, Howard Gardner at Harvard University has proposed this theory of multiple intelligences for good 25 years. And what he has proposed is that in addition to what we measure from IQ tests, such as the visual spatial, the verbal, linguistic, and logical mathematical, there are other domains such as musical rhythmic, naturalistic, bodily, kinesthetic, interpersonal. Interpersonal is basically the ability to relate with other people, and intrapersonal skills would be the ability to understand self. And existential is really more understanding of their one person's existence and the existence of the universe even. So a famous person, Einstein, When we are thinking about him, we can also kind of break it down by the Garner's theory of intelligences with the 8 domains and see how he's doing. So musical rhythmic is about almost above average. At least he played the violin. Visual spatial is pretty much at the genius level, and verbal linguistic actually not so high. He actually didn't speak until 4 years old. Logical mathematical, probably like 15 standard deviation above the mean, and because of this, he really cracked all those problems and found all those theories that have changed the world. Naturalistic, probably average. Intrapersonal, not so good, as far as we know from the history books. Interpersonal is actually even worse potentially. And bodily kinesthetic, at least he's average. At least we know he can ride a bicycle. So when we are looking at this profile, he's definitely not like genius at all domains. He is actually weak in some domains. And we don't really remember him as someone that is having problem with interpersonal or interpersonal skills. Mainly, we remember him as someone that can change the world because of what he is good at. So there are some other people like him, such as Isaac Newton, Alan Turing, Nikola Tesla, that are very good in mathematical, physical kind of knowledge. Uh, Temple Grandin and Charles Darwin, uh, those people are very good in terms of understanding animals and the kind of biological nature of the world. Andy Warhol, he's the father of pop art. And here's Lewis Carroll, who wrote the Alice in the Wonderland. And this person is Friedi Janicki, which is who is one of the first patients of Hans Asperger. So basically Asperger syndrome is under the umbrella of autism spectrum disorder. She also won the Nobel Prize in literature some 25 years ago. And you can see other people that are in the entertainment industry, like Andy Kaufman, Susan Boyle. So what my point here is that people on the spectrum, sometimes you can hear about people talking about their abilities in science engineering, but they can also be very good at other domains as well. So when we want to figure out how to help people with to develop their strengths and interests, it's important to note that it's not the best thing to kind of pigeonhole someone in terms of their career options, because they may actually have some skills or talents even in some domains that you may not know. So be open-minded. That's the bottom line. When we think of autism, a lot of people think of how they are challenged with various different things. And it's difficult for someone to think about what they're good at. But when we are thinking about like this, for example, perseveration, a lot of the time the people on the spectrum are liking to do certain things repeatedly, and a lot of people would say they are perseverating. But when he or she is doing something that is actually good and something that can produce some very good result, then you're going to say this is persistence, not perseveration. Similarly, seeing big picture is a challenge for individuals on the spectrum. But if you're looking at what they're doing, if they're usually very detail oriented, and if the task at hand is really about details, then who cares about the big picture? If you want someone to debug a program, then you want the person to be able to identify the bugs, and they have to be detail oriented. And if they keep on seeing the big picture, they're not going to find the bug. People on the spectrum usually have few interests, but when they are interested in that topic, they really get deep into that topic and would develop a really huge fund of knowledge. Perspective taking is challenging for individuals on the spectrum, but they are generally very concrete and honest. Social interactions are really not their strong suit, but when they have friends, they are the most loyal friends. So what you can see in here is that the autism's characteristics have not changed, but you can easily say that you can describe all of it as challenges, or all of it can be strength. It's all contextual. If you're putting someone in a place that would steer him to cultivate the environment to be able to get the person to do well because you're treasuring his or her strengths, then things are going to get better for this person and for everyone as well. So neurodiversity has now become a competitive advantage, and some companies such as SAP or Microsoft, they have a program called Autism at Work program, and they would hire people on the spectrum. And this is not really only social justice, but this is really about the bottom line. It is very competitive to get into these companies, and they are not going to be allowing employees to be not able to do the work. They basically pick the best people, and they believe that people on the spectrum can actually produce a lot. And this is coming from a paper that's written by Rob Austin and Gary Pisano at Harvard. Basically, they reported there's a case in the company SAP, which has an employee on the spectrum who helped the company save $40 million because of the innovative thinking. And this is only one of the many cases that we know of. Where more recently, actually, in SAP, also they have one of the top prizes of innovation also awarded to someone on the spectrum. So the next few slides, I'm going to talk about the strength-based model of neurodiversity. So this is completely opposite to the disability model that really focus on the disabilities, what the diagnoses are, and so forth. Strength-based model is really about the individual strengths like hyperfocus, attention to details, deep interest in particular topics, excellent fund of knowledge, determination, visual thinking, creativity, and entrepreneurial spirit. There are many studies that have supported that individuals on the spectrum have a lot of abilities. And even in the very beginning, or almost 80 years ago, Leo Kanner, who coined the term autism, in his first description of the 11 cases, he described the people, this 11 people, and about half of them have very good memory skills, and about 1/3 of them have good musical skills, such as having perfect pitch. And over the years, there are a lot of other studies that describe even more domains of strengths. And Rapin, 24 years ago, have collected almost 200 cases, and 50 cases are high-functioning individuals on the spectrum, and 125 cases are the people with autism and intellectual disability. And what we can see is that it's not only the people that are highest functioning that have these strengths. Even for people that have intellectual disability, we actually know that they have good memory skills, good musical abilities, and some other domains as well, such as visual spatial abilities. When we are thinking about the strength-based model of neurodiversity, we talk about strengths, and we talk about positive psychology, positive psychiatry. I'll talk a little bit more about them in a little bit. These are kind of the philosophical way of really conceptualizing what we want to do, but to basically having a framework of thinking about what we need to do. We talked about the Gano's theory of multiple intelligences, so basically not only the IQ test, but many other domains as well, and also the 7 vectors of development. In addition to these components, uh, we've emphasized that neurodiverse conditions are conditions instead of disorders, because if we keep on saying it's disorder, then we're going to miss out a lot. You can remember that we talk about the slide on autism. It's the same characteristic, but you can say all of it as a challenge, or you can say this is just a condition. Then you will have a chance to really think about the condition really can help you or help the individual to uh, to contribute based on the person's dreams. We want to acknowledge the challenges, however, because they are really some challenges sometimes, but we don't want them to be called deficits for the same reason that I just talked about. If you keep on saying it's deficit, it's not going to be it's not going to be strengths in any way. It's always going to be a challenge for them. So basically, we want to apply the strength-based approach across the entire spectrum of neurodiverse conditions. Positive psychology is a field that's developed about 20 years ago by Martin Seligman and Mihai Csikszentmihalyi. And what they propose is that the core of positive psychology is about well-being, contentment, and satisfaction. Flow is basically immersing oneself in the work and get satisfaction out of it, and happiness, hope, and optimism. In the last 20 years, there are about 53 published definitions, and there are basically 3 themes. The main things are really about strengths, interests, and growth. So I told you that I am trained as a psychiatrist, and I have been basically practicing traditional psychiatry for the longest time. But what I'm trying to uh, describe to you is that this is probably not the only way that we should be thinking about. In many ways, positive psychiatry is actually more helpful. So positive psychiatry would focus on positive attributes and strengths. Traditional psychiatry would be about what's wrong, the pathology, and about risk factors. Instead of protective factors, what can make things better? So risk factors are what can make things worse. And in addition to that, we think neuroplasticity, like the brain can actually be plastic. That's more important. How the brain can change to make things better instead of pathology is like what is going wrong. In terms of treatment, traditional psychiatry is about symptom relief by medications and short-term psychotherapies. Positive psychiatry is about increase in well-being and growth through psychoeducational interventions. So if we do this, then we are going to be able to create preventative opportunities using positive psychiatry approaches. And this is largely ignored in traditional psychiatry. The last component of Chickering's, the strength-based model of neurodiversity is the Chickering 7 vectors of development. These are basically the developmental tasks that everyone that goes through adolescence and young adulthood have to really go through. So basically, developing competence, managing emotions, moving through autonomy toward interdependence, developing mature interpersonal relationships, establishing identity, developing purpose and integrity. So when we are thinking about building our program, basically we use this as a fabric and ask three questions. One is, how do we create a program that can help neurodiverse individuals to achieve these developmental tasks? The second question is, how do we help people around the neurodiverse individuals, such as their supervisors or their professors, to help the student or the employee to achieve these developmental tasks? And then the third is about the mental health providers. What do we do to help the neurodiverse individuals? So this Stanford Neurodiversity project is really about uh, if there is anything that we are going to be successful in the future, this has to be the first thing. We want to establish a culture that treasures the strengths of neurodiverse individual. Without this, even if we do everything with that can help the neurodiverse individuals as an individual, it's not going to be enough because they are put in an environment that is not ready for them. Once the environment is ready for them, then we would empower the neurodiverse individuals to build their identity, but build their identity based on their strengths, and this can enhance their long-term daily skills of living throughout their lifespan. If we do it right, then we can attract talented neurodiverse individuals to come to Stanford to study and work, and we are basically doing beyond Stanford. Initially, we thought we are going to only focus on Stanford, but we have been really reaching out, just like today, to our nearby neighbors and the companies that want to use this approach. We'd like to train talented individuals to work with the neurodiverse population, and we want to disseminate this model as widely as possible. And ultimately, we can maximize the potential of neurodiversity, not only to help individuals on the spectrum, but to really help all of us. We have a big team working on this project, a whole bunch of faculty members, and with 5 full-time staff members, plus some students, all working on different projects. And we have 4 tenets in this project. The first is education, educating the general public and the neurodiverse population. We also speak with various departments at Stanford, as well as the companies around us, organizations that have job opportunities. And collectively, we want to improve the employment outcome through specialized employment program, as well as mental health support. We work with various different groups, including our Stanford Law School on advocacy initiatives, as well as research. Whatever we're doing, we want to make sure that it is evidence-based, and this can help the society in a more general way. When we think about helping an individual, a neurodiverse individual, we think of a ecosystem model. So first to think about how to help this person, and then we think about the family and friends are also influencing this neurodiverse individual. And people often need mentors at different stages of their life. And sometimes neurodiverse individuals need therapists for emotion regulation related areas. In the educational setting, specifically, we need teachers, coaches, classmates, roommates to support the neurodiverse individuals. And a bigger picture to change the culture would require school officials and the school community to be participating in the change in culture. In the employment setting, the supervisors, job coaches, colleagues are the closest to the neurodiverse individual, and the executives and the work community can change the environment in a larger fashion. And there are also other supporting communities that can also collectively change the ecosystem for the better. That will be what we are trying to do. So we have 3 initiatives. The first is Neurodiversity Awareness and Education Initiative. The second is Neurodiversity at Work and Wellness Initiative. And the third is Neurodiversity Independent Living Skills Initiative. And we have several programs under this initiative. I'm going to describe a little bit after this slide. So we have the special interest group, we have an awareness program. I teach neurodiversity at Stanford. We have a neurodiverse student support program that support our neurodiverse students at Stanford. And this week and next week, we actually have a 2-week camp for the high school students. Neurodiversity at Work program, we have the neurodiverse. I'll talk more at length about this program. And I also direct the Adult Neurodevelopment Clinic. The special interest group initially was just a few of us to think about bringing the concept of neurodiversity to Stanford. Very quickly, we have, even in the very first meeting, almost 3 years ago, where we have 23 people showed up, and now we have over 450 people in our distribution list, coming from all different areas in the Bay Area. We even have people that are calling in from countries like the Ireland, London, Australia, even Malaysia. In the special interest group, we talk about various different topics from employment, specialized support for employment setting, student support, and mental health support. So we have very good speakers in the last 3 years. And every month we ask a person that can talk on a particular topic. And if you're interested in hearing any of the speakers' presentations, please let me know, and we can put you on the distribution list. This basically a partial list of what the presentations, where the presentations were given. I've spoken in Moscow, in the United Nations, in India, and so I talk about neurodiversity all over the country and at other countries as well. So building alliances is what we do within campus. We are also establishing networks with other companies. This slide I'm going to quickly skim through. Basically, this is about the Neurodiverse Student Support Program. It's a really comprehensive program that support our students on campus. And each student basically have a number of supportive people around them. So this is what we are spend the rest of the time talking about the Neurodiversity at Work program. So we want to cultivate the concept of strength-based model of neurodiversity in organizations. We want to empower managers and teams with skills to work with neurodiverse individuals. We want to increase job readiness for neurodiverse individuals. And very importantly, we support both employers and neurodiverse employees throughout the entire employment cycle. In a lot of different places, their focus is really about helping the employee through coaching and so forth. there's little support for employers. And because we believe that the environment has to change before the neurodiverse individuals enter, we need the employers to at least be accepting some of the concepts about neurodiversity so that the workplace will be neurodiversity friendly. So some of the components that we have built already is a candidate registry. We have about 100 candidates right now in there. And if they are job ready, they can go into the matching pool. If they are not, then they go to the pre-employment training or internships. On the other hand, we work with a lot of companies to put their jobs into a job bank. If they already have a neurodiversity friendly workplace, then they can put their jobs into the job bank. If not, then we'll train the employer and all the managers, co-workers involved, so that they will make the workplace neurodiversity friendly. And a lot of what we know about neurodiverse individuals is that they don't really know about their how to interact in a social environment. So about 80% of individuals on the spectrum are unemployed or underemployed. And many of them are actually very smart. And I know quite a few of them that don't even have interviews, not to say like getting a job. And they are coming from the most elite universities. And they have the very strong background, but because they don't know how to maneuver the typical human resource process, they are failing in the system. So that's why we are trying to help them with accommodating various different processes, including the interview, for example. And then after that, hopefully some people are able to get a job, and then we'll continue to support them. This is our website. If you are interested, you can Google Stanford Neurodiversity Project, and then go to this tab, Neurodiversity at Work. And then this side is for employees, and this side is for employers. All you need to do is go there and click it. So a little bit more about what we actually do. So Mark Gaviton, who is the program manager, worked with neurodiverse individual in the very beginning, when neurodiverse individuals need to have pre-employment training, internship. He would refer them to the right groups to conduct such activities, and then help them to get a job. And then they need to get help with preparing their interviews, and then onboarding. And after that, we have another few people working on a 12-week program that's basically helping neurodiverse individuals in the transition period. That's the beginning right after onboarding, which we think is the most important time to receive support. In parallel, for employers, like today, this is actually the neurodiversity awareness training. This is the very beginning. And if the employers are interested in this initiative, then what we would want to do is to work with the employer and figure out how to kind of see the job posting and whether or not that is most suitable for neurodiverse individuals. We're not trying to change the job description, but the reason why we're doing this is a lot of neurodiverse individuals are not really knowing themselves and the job search process. So say, for example, if there are like from A to G, there are many different tasks that you want this position to do. And if the neurodiverse individual can only do A, B, and C and not from D to G, then this person most likely would think he or she is not qualified and would not even apply. When in fact, a lot of the time, we really don't need people to know from A to G. A lot of the skills can actually be learned on the job. So basically, we work with the manager and see if there's anything that is really absolutely needed and what are actually good to have and so forth. And then after that, if uh, we would try to find the right candidate for this particular position, and then we can help train the manager and the co-workers to on how to maybe interview the candidate. A lot of the time, what we also try to do is to kind of negotiate with the employer to see if there's any accommodations that can be offered to the neurodiverse individuals. It is so. An example for that is, for example, in IT industry, it is quite common that um, people that are in the interview would be asked to write some kind of program, do some coding right in front of the panel of people, and it is very anxiety provoking. And truthfully, if I am in that situation, I may not be able to perform so well because there's just way too much anxiety with like 10 pairs of eyes looking at me. But if you are not in that situation, if we can actually get the same task to be tested, but if this person can be sitting in a quiet room, then this person may be able to just do the task really well. And what you really care about is the candidate is able to do well in the job. It is really not like we're not trying to test this person whether or not this person can withstand the anxiety with like 10 pairs of eyes looking at him or her. So so basically, we want to make sure that there is a best match of the job skills that the candidate have and the job requirements that the employer wants. And if there's a good match, if there's an offer given to the neurodiverse individual, we would also try to figure out if there is anything that can be done uh, before onboarding. Some people have sensitivity to noise and they may need noise canceling headphone or something like that. And just like the neurodiverse employee, there is also, there is a 12-week training for the neurodiverse employee. The employer also has a 12-week support. And usually what we do is one half of the time is 1 hour a week, and we have some materials that we can teach employers and the team, but most of the time when we do this, it's really to support the team when during this 12-week period, they have encountered some very good things and maybe some things that they are not so sure about, and that's the time that we can provide some guidance. So just like this, the figure I showed you with the students, the neurodiverse employee also has 2 support circles. This is what we call the support circle model. So the neurodiverse individual would have the team manager, the HR manager, the team buddy, and a mentor, as well as our group has a coach that would be helping the team here, mainly the managers and the team buddy. And we also have another coach that would directly work with the neurodiverse individual. And this coach sometimes would also work with a personal counselor if he or she has one. and sometimes the family. And for some neurodiverse individuals, the family is still involved. So in summary, neurodiverse individuals offers much to organizations if they are given a chance. Neurodiverse individuals have specific challenges that can be overcome. The strength-based model of neurodiversity incorporates positive psychology and developmental perspectives from this Chickering's 7 vectors of development. And the Stanford Neurodiversity Project is designed to maximize the potential of neurodiversity by practicing the strength-based model. So how can we work together to maximize the potential of neurodiversity? Well, first of all, I'm going to put a plug on the conference that we are running. We're hosting in October. The theme is Scaling Up the Neurodiversity at Work initiative. It's going to be all virtual and it's all going to be free. So stay tuned for this in our website. This is our preliminary schedule. We have a 5-day conference. We already have practically everything all planned out, from the keynote speakers that are really prominent. Nancy Doyle is basically the most effective person advocating neurodiversity in Europe. She's based in London, and she helps people on the spectrum and other neurodevelopmental conditions, many thousands of them every year. And Julie Singer is actually the person that coined the term neurodiversity. And we also have some other topics that are helpful for students as well as employers and also other neurodiverse individuals. So there are many opportunities to collaborate. First, if you're interested in our special interest group, like joining the monthly meeting to listen and participate to the presentation. If you let us know your interest in neurodiversity, and you can collaborate with us by letting us know if you know any neurodiverse individuals looking for work. And if you are a business owner or manager, and you're looking for some people to fill your positions, let us know. And please introduce to us any organizations that may want to know more about our project, and tell us how you want to be involved. By working together, we can make a difference to the neurodiverse community and beyond. And thank you for your attention, and I'll be happy to answer any questions that you may have.
Great, thank you so much. That was very informative.
You're so welcome.
Right, so we have a couple questions here. And again, if anyone else has any questions, feel free to put them in the chat area. So one question here from Scott Hunter. Scott is with the Los Altos Village Association. How does a neurodiverse individual participate in your program?
Mm-hmm. So the first thing is to join. If this person is looking for work, basically the first step is to join the candidate registry that I talked about. Mm-hmm. So this person can just go to our website, to go into the tab Neurodiversity at Work, and then basically sign up for the candidate registry. If this person is not looking for work and basically just interested in supporting us in certain way or participating in certain way, basically he or she can just send us an email to Stanford Neurodiversity Project at stanford.edu, and we'll figure out what the interest is from this person.
Okay. Yeah, I think that Kim has a similar question to that of how do we engage our teens in your program as they seek career opportunities. So I think that's a similar, same answer to that one.
Yeah, so for teens, if they are above 18, that's basically the range. From 18 to 55 is the range that we can allow individuals to be signing up for the candidate registry. And right now we're also considering people that are looking for internships. So so that's one possibility. If the teen is under 18, then just like what I said about the high school camp, like this week and next week, we actually have a high school camp for 40 students, and we have 350 applications, and we can only take 40, but whoever that's interested, we can still give them information. And so if this teen is under 18 and interested in neurodiversity, today is basically day 4. We're almost done with the first week, but I'm happy to get this person to be able to access the material at least. But the camp is halfway done, so cannot get him to apply. But next year we'll be able to, or this person will be able to apply for the camp.
Great. Let's see what other questions we have here. All right. Looks like, thank you, Mark, for sharing the website for the registry. Another question from Kim. So Kim is our president here at the Los Altos Chamber. Are there resources which can help these individuals or our children identify their strengths so they know what opportunities to look for in the workplace?
So it is somewhat hard for some people. So we'll be happy to work with them, and if they are young adults above 18 going through the candidate registry, and I mean that's one way if they would like to do it. Kim, you have a more direct question you're trying to ask?
Well, no, you've really covered it, Dr. Fung. I appreciate your sharing this information with us. My daughter is special needs, but is a little bit younger, but she's been a part of a special needs cheer squad, actually, in South San Jose, and she is the youngest of that group, and the group ranges up into people that are in their low 20s. And so it would be great for me to be able to share this resource with that group of children and parents as well. So I am amazed at all that you're doing. I'm so thankful for the work that you're doing for our community and for these kids. And it just really touches my heart. I know I'm not the only one in this situation, and I thank you so much, and I'm so happy to know about this and to be able to share your good work with our larger community. Really makes a difference.
Thank you so much, Kim, and I share the passion you have to really do something with the neurodiverse community. There's so much potential that we can help them to reach. There's much that they can contribute to the society.
So many great gifts and strengths that they have. It's just having this kind of channel that you're providing to help bring those strengths to the forefront and to really improve our community as a whole. And And that's what I'm so thankful for. So please count me in any way that I can personally help support what you're doing, that our chamber can, and our community at large. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. And one thing that we are really trying to do better is to find more employers. So basically, we can find a lot of candidates, and we can find some employers to be participating, but we really need a lot more. And by increasing the number of candidates and also number of jobs, then we can, statistically, it's going to be a higher chance for everyone to find something that they are going to be good at. So that's the main thing that we're trying to drive. And one activity that I haven't spoken is there is a series of workshops that I'm running in August and September. It's called Neurodiversity Design Thinking Workshops. So the first one is August 7th. It's going to be 2 hours a week on Friday at 10. Is it 10 or 9, Mark? Do you remember? It's probably 10. So so basically, it's 6 weeks of that. It's basically a short workshop. I used to basically teach this to the Stanford students for the entire quarter, but we open it up for the community, and we already have like 93 people signed up. But if anyone is interested, especially if they are like business owners or managers, that will be the most fantastic, because we got a lot of parents, we got a lot of neurodiverse individuals and employment specialists signed up. We need more business owners. This way, the activities would be more meaningful.
Sure. We're happy to help with that, however we can promote your organization.
Thank you so much. So any other?
I think that's it for the questions here, and we're getting close to 2 o'clock, so maybe this is a good time to wrap it up. But just wanted to say thank you again so much for speaking with us. I really appreciate you taking the time, and it was a very informative and interesting topic.
You're so welcome. Thank you for the opportunity to speak with you all, and hopefully we can cross path and work together for the future of the neurodiverse individuals.
Great. And we have made a recording of this session. If you had to run out in the middle for anything, we should have this available on our website probably early to mid next week. So if you missed any part of it, you can go back and review there. All right.
All right.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks so much.
Bye-bye.
All right. Bye.